Yeah, there was always like I find like party games are one of those things where there's always it's one of those things that's really easy to show off at a con, right? Like when you have a story game, when you have like a turn-based RPG, all of these like might be great games, but a con setting may not necessarily be the best place to demonstrate it and get people to really engage with it, right? Like if you have a game where there's music and it's supposed to be like very atmospheric and all of these things, like a con setting is just really not gonna show the game in the best light.
Yeah, we we actually have like the sort of an opposite problem at times because we're so con ready
Right.
that when people want more, it's like, well, we can't really show it at the con. Like we've got a whole story mode in development, and we should be finished by the end of this month with that.
Mhm.
But we can't really show that off at a con because, like you would have seen, we had like little kids running up and the people drop in and out, so
Yeah.
we can go from one player to four player. So it's sort of hard to have that at a con.
Right. So I do have the trailer playing right now. I do have a lot of audio listeners as well. So for anyone who's just listening, can you explain the general idea of the gameplay and like what you're actually doing, what you are, and how this sort of all plays out?
So you in the game you play as an indestructible horse. Um, we've made it indestructible just because it's fun. Who likes dying to things? And there's a lot to it. We have different game modes and stuff, but there's a huge overarching story where you pretty much run your own little like taxi business. It's all medieval settings. But as you slowly help the villagers, you sort of grow notoriety. You get enlisted by I think they got some wizards that sort of ask for your help. So then you end up helping them to sort of then overthrow a kingdom because they want to ban magic, and of course the wizards don't like that. Without giving away too many spoilers, there's sort of consequences for doing that, and maybe the wizards aren't as good as they seem. So there's that huge narrative part. When it comes to gameplay, it's very like sort of free roam sandbox. You sort of do what you want. Everything's destructible, so you can make your own shortcuts basically. And so we also have like your different game modes, which is your party side. So we're trying to balance the fine line between going party game because we don't want to be just a party game,
Right.
but then we also don't want to just be a single player sort of game. And we've made sure that all the story stuff is all co-op, so it's not just a story game as well.
Right. Yeah, a problem a lot of party games end up having is you need people to play a party game, right? Like if you don't have online multiplayer, which I don't think you guys have.
No, because we're very limited because we're building for Switch. So
Right.
like online stuff for Switch is really hard to sort of work around, especially when you're dealing with like a younger audience as well.
Okay, yeah. I definitely do want to get into the Switch porting stuff a bit later. That because I've had devs who've wanted to do console porting and wanted to do Switch porting, and they realize it's a big challenge to do so. So I definitely want to get into that. But I think you make a good point there about like, well, online's hard. Like even just without Switch, online is just hard to begin with. But the problem a lot of party games have is because you need people, and especially after the past couple of years, a lot of people don't meet up as much. People are. It's starting to shift back, right? I've been seeing a lot of board game shops open, which is really cool. That wasn't a thing before. There's board game shops everywhere, like card games, all of this stuff. So people are actually like trying again, which is cool. I like that. But it's hard to get people together for a party game. So having some sort of ability to play the game without that, and you look at I look back at games that I really enjoyed as a kid, like the Need for Speed games, for example. There is a whole single-player campaign, and you can just have, that's really fun. But there's also that additional, hey, you want to, race your friends, you want to do this arcade stuff as well. That's also there. So there's both of those things you can, appeal to. And, of course, you can look at, games obviously games like Smash, right? Where there is that whole, single-player element. You can play against the CPUs. But then the main thing people are kind of there for is that, party, that challenging your friends sort of thing.
Exactly. It's exactly that. It was also tricky as well. Like as an indie, we're targeting that,
Mm.
and it's sort of like, oh, maybe you shouldn't do that as an indie. Like pick a lane kind of thing.
Right, right, right.
And we're like, no, we can do both. Like I don't see why not. Simple. Well, I say simple, but like a game, yeah, like Smash Bros. It's a fighting game. You got your single player stuff as well as your multiplayer stuff, like you said. So we're sort of trying to go for that same thing.
So, how many people are working on the game?
Um, at one point, it's tricky. So we have like contractors.
Right.
Um, so like yeah, the artists will sort of finish their pieces up and they're sort of done with it. Same with like the music and stuff. They will just sort of do their piece and they're done.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in total there's maybe about like 10 people that sort of can work on the team.
Okay.
So
That's
yeah.
a surprisingly large team, actually. Like, I,
Yeah.
as like I've seen projects that have like one guy working on it, and it's like really cool. I've seen projects where it's like, I don't even know like how how they managed to like even get that many people together to work on something, especially
Yeah.
when it's one thing when you're when it's like an established studio that has like a big resume of games, and it's like, oh, we
Yeah.
like, but having so there's 10, like, is that 10 core people or 10 people in total?
10 people in total.
Right.
So like I said, like contractors, like
Right.
an artist might come in once a week and just work on one piece or something.
What would you say is
But
like,
at the core,
yeah,
so
the core team there?
the core is probably four of us.
Okay.
Borderline, like there'd be two of us that are sort of like full time.
Mhm.
The other two guys are like part time, sort of casual,
Mhm.
and then yeah, everyone else is just contractor really.
Mhm. How long has it been a work in progress for?
Um, I think it's like a year and a half, going on to 2 years
Okay.
almost.
Right.
So it's a lot.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of like because we've play tested it like ridiculously. Like we've been to so many events and stuff. So it's like that constant sort of iteration, that constant polish. So yeah, there's a lot there.
Mhm. Mhm.